the dog doing?
Why you bully me?
Yahoo!
You've got mail.
All week long.
Hector, are you admitting to doing the devil's lettuce here in court?
Wow.
We allow it. It's fine.
Hector, you do you, bud. All good here. No judgments except from the judges. That's right. We got a case.
Yes.
Zoom court. Some people call it Creed.
They do. Let's if you don't mind, can we start over here with our daily check-in on Judge Boyd's purse?
Sure. Let's see what the judges got today. Wow. That's very uninspiring.
Yeah, this hasn't been that great of a week. And by the way, the fact that it's numbered 187, just like that cop car we saw the other day during We Got a Chase.
Oh, not a good thing. Is this the murder court? This kid looks a little young.
Yeah, but I could get some murder vibes from him, I think.
There has to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from me in order to be successful?
Did he bring his sister to court?
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Forest Park, that whole thing
Because
yesterday
this is
was
affirmative fighting of family violence. You're not
that was
allowed
good.
to own or possess.
That was A+.
or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. Good luck to you. Here's the thing. You better start treating your moms right. Moms don't last forever. They're not going to be on the planet forever. Don't be that person who's in an imitation of life, running behind a coffin after you had treated your mom so badly, because people are not going to be sympathetic towards you.
Damn.
All right, good luck to you. Probation is going to go over your condition.
send the judge flowers. I hear that's a
Oh,
good
yes. I'm so sorry. Bye-bye.
thing for her. Oh, is she saying
All
bye
right,
to us?
so on Abby Marino, come back at 1:30,
Same here, Vincent. Almost made it.
please. And we'll take that matter up.
We almost made it.
Judge, may I approach on ex parte minute?
Great stash there on the dude sitting there.
Look at Ronnie, head of security, walking up here.
Not fees, I'm sorry. Travel expenses.
I don't know why it popped up on my Twitter, but Titty Tuesday, I guess, is a thing with Ronnie on Twitter.
It is. He's got every day's themed, and
Dude,
you know, I guess ever since I messaged Ronnie and spoke to him, you know, over email, and
whoa! Stop the clock.
where I get those updates as well. Creed, things are moving slow over here at Judge Simpson's.
He ain't even around.
No, he's not even here, but we got Sorry is outside. So sorry.
Having a smoke, I would imagine. Drug Rug Thomas.
Yes. Yes, he looking good, by the way. Ceiling fan, brick wall, plain wall, and no name. They're all here. All the big players are here, ready to go, Creed.
They're ready over at Tuckwilla as well. She's just sitting here. Candace is her name.
I like to call her younger Lisa G.
Speaking of lots of Howard Stern references.
I like this person left their phone outside and they went indoors. I mean, must be a very safe neighborhood.
Very high financial bond, again, based on what allegedly occurred in December of 2020. if this were December of 2020 or January of 2021, or maybe even June of 2021, I would be much more inclined to keep you in custody. But it appears that since these events, you have not gotten any new charges or arrests. I don't see anything on your criminal history. Your information
Dallas House.
today is that you've not had any contact with Ms.
Beautiful.
Johnson in at least 9 months, long enough that you don't remember the last time you had contact with her. There's no reason for the two of you to have contact. So I think that despite the nature of these charges, a personal bond with conditions, and I think I'll order a tether to keep you away from her location.
Oversized jackets are in, Creed.
Keep her safe and also keep the community safe. It also doesn't appear to me.
Didn't Lisa
that
G
there's
say
any
that she had
slight
double
risk. Of
D's?
course, Mr. Cruz would not have
Yes.
known that there
Yeah.
was a warrant out for his arrest unless someone told him, which is not what we usually do for felonies. So I'm giving you a personal recognizance bond today.
Thank you.
While you're on bond, you're not to have any contact with Brianna Johnson. No contact means you are not to initiate contact with her. You should not be texting her, calling her, emailing her. Do not use regular mail.
No
to
flowers.
have contact
Don't be
with
looking
her.
in her windows.
Send
No
her an
sexting.
email.
Don't give her foot
Don't use
massages.
media or any of the face-to-face communication applications to have contact with her.
Yes, ma'am.
He tries to contact you for any reason, you cannot reply.
Oh,
Okay,
I don't
the
know about
addresses
that.
that we have are the two addresses we're going to use for the no-go to. I don't know if she still lives at these places because as Prosecutor Tanha just said, no one has spoken to her for about 20 months. No one from the
Good Lord.
So these may not
Might
be
be
where
dead.
she lives. I'm
20
going to use the
months.
information that we have, but I'm telling you.
Private chat. Tell
find
me if you
out
think
that
I'm
she
right.
lives someplace else, you cannot go there.
Yes,
Right.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Specifically, do not go to
Oh, God. The kind of the resemblance.
A little bit.
Ashton Road. Those are both in Ypsilanti.
They could be
And
sisters,
that's what
maybe.
your tether is
Yeah.
going to have for the hot spots.
Bigfoot.
Okay.
Hot spots.
The
Bigfoot knows
GPS
about
tether will
those.
be put on prior to you leaving jail.
Never forget
So
the
that
smell
will
of
happen today.
Okay.
I know
Okay,
smell
do you have
of
any
that
questions
sweat.
about the no contact and the tether? I have other conditions to give you, but do you have any questions about those?
Man, he was
No, ma'am.
bad boy.
I'm
While
more
you're on
worried about the lady we haven't heard from in 20
marijuana
months.
or illegal drugs.
Right?
You are not to purchase or possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition. Do not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. No criminal behavior of any kind and no assaultive behavior towards anyone. Any questions about those conditions?
So, yes, ma'am. I have a prescription. I'm prescribed an opiate
Okay.
from my back from a car accident from a few years back. So I
Okay.
just want to know that.
You have permission to use any drug that is prescribed to you in the manner that it is prescribed. Okay? So
Okay.
as
So
long
it
as
says
you are
take it by
using a
mouth.
valid
Don't snort it off a toilet
and
seat.
legal
right.
prescription that is yours and you're using it as prescribed, that doesn't violate the bond.
Okay, I can report my pharmacy and doctor if I need to the courts.
I'm not requiring that right now, but that may be something that someone wants you to do later on.
Mavis?
Okay.
Okay. Anything else about the bond conditions?
No, ma'am.
Your court date will be next Thursday, September 22nd, 9 a.m. over Zoom.
Nance.
And that will be.
Tell Fiona I said hello.
Conference. Someone from Ms. Kleeman's office will be there with you. You'll get a notice sent to your email that has the exact time that you should appear and also the link to use to appear by Zoom.
Okay.
Okay, anything else?
No, thank you for everything.
Okay, you're all set. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate it.
So, is there any thoughts potentially that he knows where this person is of 20 months?
I mean, maybe he could have hurt his back digging a hole, Creed. I mean, we saw he got up, he was holding his back, and obviously he's in pain.
Hey, listen, if I dug a hole like that, I My back will be hurting as well.
About that before, about my
We have
court.
to actually put your phone number into the text system.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
it may not have been in there.
Are they flirting in here?
98502.
Okay. So we'll print your court order today. You'll get notice in the mail of your next court date. Your attorney is Mr. Vanderboss.
Lovely. Mhm.
Okay. And then we'll see you when you come back to court.
And I also get a text message as well?
You'll
or-
get a text message
Okay,
as
lovely.
well.
And then in terms of what she was mentioning about the,
Oh, bail.
Yeah.
What-
Would you like to get a
so
sandwich,
let me
Your
look at
Honor?
the docket. Is there any objection to exonerating bail at this time, Mr. McClellan?
No, Your Honor, not given what Mr. Alamani represented and how this transpired and with ensuring that we have his information now and sitting in the hearing, I don't have any objection to exonerating that bail.
Don't be a
Okay,
Chad.
thank you.
Am I the
Um,
only one that
Do I
thinks
need to put that
eventually we'll
in
see
JNF
Chris
or just in the
Langley
docket so I
as a
can
guest
re-add it?
panelist on the
Exonerating
Michael
bail.
Malloy show?
I'll put it in there.
Yeah, I think.
I'll put it in there to make sure it's in there.
will also.
So I think you have to send it back to me.
Depends
because
on what
it's in
year.
the
I
mail.
don't know.
I just want to make sure it's in
But I
there.
appreciate that. Thank you.
So you don't
Saw
have
that.
any
No,
more
no
trouble.
judge
Thank
said at the moment. Stop yelling. Bob's the only one around here that can yell.
You know, in jail, Your Honor, I actually met a correction officer. His mother was one of the patients actually was taken care of. And he actually took me in, did not let me go in with the rest of the inmates. He
Oh,
allowed me to call to bail.
Oh,
Finish
that's
the-
fire
nice.
He
him
was absolutely
immediately.
great individual. So there's some
Well,
good people out there.
Here's what I will tell
Breaking
you.
protocol.
Based on my experience with law enforcement and being in this field for 20 plus years, they treat you the way you treat them. So
Right.
it says something about you
Thank you.
as to how you were treated. Okay.
I think he wants to open mouth kiss the
Let
judge.
me see. Okay, I don't need to put it in the order. Okay.
I have it.
Awesome. Great. Get your paperwork right here. You're
Okay,
good to go.
lovely.
Okay.
And then
Thank
the
you.
bail is-
Sorry to keep jumping, but we got quite a good looking crew over here
He said he would have no objection.
in Monroe Circuit Court.
Wow, that looks good.
And this
That's a-
judge, I would be very scared of him.
Oh yeah, he looks like
He's
He'll
got a
yell
no
at you
charge in
for-
Warren County promoting contraband, is that right?
walking on his
Not that I'm
lawn.
aware of. Your Honor.
Barron County, Barron County.
Knox's
from
brother
this
Ken
Charge,
on the
Your
scene.
Honor. What it was, the Tompkinsville police arrested him, transported him to the jail, and he was found with drugs at the jail in
Ooh, that's-
Barron County.
That's bad.
But charged.
That's not good.
That's good.
I understand that, Your Honor. We would ask that he be released on the district court bond in this case, and then we'll deal with Barron County up there.
This is Kentucky, right?
What does the Commonwealth
Henley.
say?
Mr. Henley said no objection.
I'm not sure. Yes. Yeah, look right here.
Yes. Kentucky.
She just smiled to you when you said that. Did you see that?
These, how many DUIs is this? Is this a DUI first?
I think it's a second, but I'm not positive, Your Honor.
I'll agree to go with the district court bond with an ankle bracelet.
Am I the only one that
Yes,
thinks
sir.
Ken looks like
So he'll get
Golden
an
Slot's more
ankle,
successful
on
uncle?
today, or when he gets out. What was the
I can
district
see
court
it.
bond?
Okay.
I'm not going to go with an ROR. District court was an ROR. No,
Texas
Okay,
Mama
what about
Bear.
a surety bond signed by his mother?
$25,000 surety bond
Ooh.
and an ankle bracelet. Okay.
Cops are
Yes, sir.
usually
Thank you.
very
Okay.
good about warning you about
Brian
why they
Walker.
keep asking you about if you got anything else on you. Now's the time, because once it goes into there,
That's
it's
big
a whole
charges.
different
Yeah.
world.
Bad news, man. Bad news.
Brian Walker. He'd be under the same, Mr. Voorhees be under the same curfew requirements and things everybody else is. Brian Walker, 22 CR 0065.
What you do, Brian?
Are you Brian Walker?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. You born in 1983.
It's a good,
Last four digits.
good question, Angela, because there's two others
Yes, Your Honor.
sitting there with the red shirts. Also, if you look behind the bearded man,
On a pretrial conference in 22 CR 0065.
Yeah, maybe that means
Y'all have
something.
an agreement. Okay.
Your Honor, we do not have an agreement on the case. Mr. Walker's case is going to be conflicted out of our office due to our representation of his co-defendant.
Shadow.
We have not yet secured counsel for him, so we would ask to put this on for next month to have an attorney present.
Okay, well, what I want you to do is have an attorney present and have them schooled up enough to participate in the negotiation. I'm not gonna wait till another month because y'all haven't got conflict counsel for this young man, and then let him come up here and instead of go to the next month.
All right, I like this guy.
do a Negotiation.
I do
That's
too.
not fair to him. Okay?
Audio's good.
Get him an attorney, and sir, they'll be over to talk to you, to explain the case to you. so
Was
they can
it
negotiate on the 7th?
In Sed's
And then on
court
the
that he had
20th,
that
you're
talking
ready
to, or was that?
make your decision on what you want to do.
No,
Sir, can we address my bond? Can we,
What is the bond?
it
What's the
wasn't
bond?
said. It was what's his name that's gone now with the kids.
Why is that?
Kim.
Yeah, when they had the talking to, I think that it was Judge Kim.
Okay,
Or
well,
talking
why
to
is he
when they didn't have
modified?
their stuff together and there was conflicts and it kind of, and it's bad for the person that's in because if you can't get together,
Means they're going to stay longer. It's gonna be a bunch of. It's gonna be a big mess.
When the race and arm is banned, while there was another one pending, his prior misdemeanor conviction, prior felony conviction.
why's everybody, what is happening down there?
No FPA. Two PFO first.
Uh-oh. Here comes Wheels, everybody.
Charge for the
Yeah.
Where is she going?
And that's
Yeah, we
why
have
we're here.
PFO charges in this case is the reason the bond is where it is. So you'll have to either have a hearing for a bond reduction or an agreement by the Commonwealth. Okay?
could I ask the Commonwealth?
No, you can't, no, you need to talk to your attorney because you might say something that would incriminate you. You might say something that would incriminate you, okay?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask for an ankle monitor if that was
No,
possible.
Loud's
you're not,
comments
you're
the
not gonna
best.
get any changes in the bond until there's a bond reduction here in agreement with the Commonwealth. And you have a right to one, you haven't used it yet, and I'm not gonna burn it up by this short time. I want you to reserve that for you. That's the reason I don't want you to say anything, is so you can reserve a motion for bond reduction, okay? Okay, Melinda Webb. Melinda Webb.
Damn it, we're losing all the good people. Where are you going?
Melinda Webb, 22 CR 0068. Are you Melinda Webb? You're here today for the purpose of arraignment in 22 CR 0068. Were you born in 1977? What's the last 4 digits of your social security number?
001.
Jesus, we're online, I don't think that's something they really would.
I mean,
Yeah,
what's your what's the first dog you ever had?
you qualify for a public defender, so I'm going to appoint one to you.
It's the name of the street you were born on.
Best friend?
Grandpa's first name?
Mama's maiden name.
The grand jury of Monroe County
They save these, by the way.
turned an indictment.
Oh, do they?
CR 0068.
This stream's been on for 4 hours.
Whole substance
Oh, wow.
first degree. You understand that charge? You understand the charge? Are you saying something I can't hear?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. We'll set a negotiation day on the 7th. It's the 7th of October, and your next court date is October the 20th. What is this lady's bond? State inmate? Okay. Okay, well, if you resolve your state inmate status, I'll take a look at your bond, okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
I like the
Edward
folding
Whitney.
table over there. It makes me think that they might have potluck dinners there at the jail.
Commonwealth versus,
Morning, Your Honor.
well, Commonwealth versus Edward Whitledge, 20 CR 0085. Are you, Mr. Whitledge, were you born in 1991?
Yes, Your Honor.
Last 4 digits, social security number 9664.
9864.
9864, okay, that's right.
Start at the
Ah,
beginning.
Did you say he did that on purpose?
In a motion to compel, what's the most to compel about?
Your Honor, I filed a motion for specific discovery, asking for some items.
I got some cute women working
I
here.
have been in communication with Mr. Stockton about that, and he's
calling
agreed to
Sarah
respond
cute?
and provide that discovery by the end of
Like
the
her
month.
hair.
Okay,
So I would just ask the court to give us
Like
another
him-
date.
likes
perhaps
handsome
in
women.
November.
It's just my style.
Well, I don't have the hots for Amber anymore. I
Well-
can tell you that.
What sort of information is it? Is it
Your Honor, I had a list. It includes cell phone data, phone records, KSP reports, evidence logs,
Only
warrants,
here
quite a few things.
will you get a 311 reference.
Hunley, how long is it going to take you to comply with that?
I'm not certain that we will ever be able to comply with some of it, Your Honor, because I believe some of it will be in possession of the law enforcement authorities in California,
Oh,
where he was arrested to begin with.
Damn, Amber bringing the
Otherwise,
secret sauce.
We have met and have another meeting scheduled with the detectives in this case. Hopefully, we will get it by the end of the month, but that might
So I'm going
be.
to set y'all to come back here on October 20th. I'm not going to
That
set
would-
I'm not going to set the October 7th negotiation day with everyone else because this is pretty complex
Yeah,
case.
this-
So I'll let the two of you try to schedule a negotiation date before October 20th. I'll just leave it
So,
up to y'all to
fun
do a
fact for a lot of these guys that are
And then
facing
we'll be
some big
back on
charges in
October 20th
prison,
and we'll see. I'm
from
all
what I
about
understand,
setting a trial in this case.
for every day in
But
some
it's gonna
cases,
still be a little ways out.
for every
get
day
the
that he
state
stays at this
priority
jail,
over some other cases,
it's
okay?
the same as 3 days in prison,
Thank
if I'm
y'all
not
very much.
mistaken,
Yeah.
for
Your
a
Honor,
lot of
may I
them.
approach on an ex parte
I
matter?
remember hearing that.
Well, not right
Yeah.
now, but because I can't get you, I'm right in the middle of a docket. But you can call me and do that about that if you'll.
Hi,
Dave,
Dave.
it's
I
all
guess
right, Dave.
Your phone number is probably on the motion that you filed, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor, or if I could approach at the conclusion of the docket.
Well,
Okay, well, just stay on there. and we'll
she's
see
wearing
what
a
we can
skirt.
do. If I can get you
Oh,
on
yeah.
in a side room.
Good to
Sure.
see you.
Below the knees to
Edward
the ankle,
Whitledge.
actually.
Edward Whitledge.
That's the case we just called, Your Honor.
Edward Whitledge, excuse me.
He jumped right back up and came up.
Yeah,
though.
he did.
Numbered wrong.
Bring
Um,
up that pasty feller that's been putting his feet on the chair.
Bobby Pruitt.
Bobby.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Hey, Bruce.
Wow, look at.
Commonwealth versus
Oh,
Bobby
I thought
Pruitt.
Amber. Oh, never mind.
22 CR 0015. Mr. Pruitt, were you born in 1983?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
My God, he aged poorly.
83? He's
86.
4 years younger than me.
Looks like
He's
it's a
10 years
probation
younger than me.
motion
Jesus
here. What does
Christ.
Commonwealth have to say about that?
Gee, Stephen O'Neill.
Honor, we were gonna pass our motion to next month. He was being assessed.
And
He's
Judge
being
Wilson, you
asked?
signed an agreed order to release him our
Assessed.
ankle monitor after he's been assessed on the 13th. Well, yeah, 2 days ago. I don't know if he's been assessed yet, but he should be able to be released to go back to work once that's happened.
What does the Commonwealth have to say?
Great
Bruce's
band.
face.
Great
Appreciate
band,
that,
by
Your
the
Honor.
way, Jay.
Okay. Well, if
Saw them on their
somebody
first
tell me
tour.
when he's
Dropped a microphone on my head
so does that mean
Oh,
after
really?
they receive the report or after the assessment?
several times.
Your
I
Honor,
ran lights for him at Hooligans.
Mr. Collins is here and he said he has been assessed.
Okay, well, do we have the report?
Professionalism.
Yes, Your Honor. He's
During
assessed
that,
in
they
the
did an
long-term
album that's all
treatment program.
blues music.
We requested
Love
bed,
it.
If the court allows, and we can release him, once that bed's available to attend.
Okay. Get him in the bed and I'll sign a release for him.
Get him in the bed.
Damn, what are you guys setting up?
Okay,
Holy
now we
shit.
got
Wow.
another one here somewhere. Dylan.
Just getting folks into bed.
Dylan Russell. Yeah, I lost it there.
Come on, Dylan. You got
Get
it
him
this
in bed,
time.
I'll be right over.
Dylan Russell.
Dick Harris, congratulations. Hallelujah to that.
Are you
way to go.
And Pamela. Tomorrow, 6 East.
Ooh, it's a good one. Be ready.
Don't forget. 1233.
Oh, Rick, this is your dad.
What do we have here? It says it's a pretrial conference.
Is
Your
Amber
Honor, Mr.
translating?
Russell was arrested on a bench warrant for failure to appear at negotiation conference. Mr. Stockton, I believe, is wanting to put this on for next month. I believe we'll have a resolution at the time.
Well, there was more than one time that you didn't appear. It was 2 times. Is that correct?
Just once, sir. The other time I had the corona.
Look at that guy combing his hair.
Set a negotiation date on the 7th.
He wants to look good.
And the next court date on the 20th.
Okay, sir.
Like your day.
I got one quick question. My wife is being induced in labor in 2 weeks. And anything like any kind of furlough or anything I get from it just to see my baby that day.
What's the charge in this case? There's 2 cases.
Beating a baby.
Now, I'm not asking you.
Domestic violence.
I'll get back to you.
Right.
Okay, hold on a second.
Your Honor, one of them is an assault third degree on a police officer, probation officer, and then the other one is burglary third degree.
Good guy.
Your Honor, I was trying to break into the hospital to see my baby.
I think your defense attorney needs to call the Commonwealth. If he doesn't have rabbit blood in him, I wouldn't have an objection for him to.
Creed, I'll translate since I'm a Southerner.
A runner?
In some way.
He's a runner.
Thank you.
I'll try to accomplish that. So hopefully you can get this behind you and help.
Tell this dumb Yankee above me what the hell a rabbit.
Okay.
Boy, a little bit of rabbit in him. I'm going to run.
I'll try to get an order on that. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Now, is there anybody
Rabbit
else
blood.
that we hadn't talked to in the jail?
The feller combing his hair. Can he come on up here?
Your Honor, on
We got to
James
fight.
Mercer, we
Walter.
asked him, try to get in touch with Johnny
How's it
Bell.
going?
And we
Yeah.
have spoke to Johnny Bell and he said he no longer represents Mr. Mercer.
Chastity belt wearer.
Well,
Mr.
Mr.
Cock.
Mercer said that he wanted to stipulate to the
Oh,
violation.
cockle.
And
Corkle.
Mr. Mercer,
Corkle.
you feel like you're fully informed about the case and you have discussed this matter with your attorney.
What's wrong? What's wrong with the hair there?
Sir.
He just
I'm
got
gonna go
done
ahead.
combing it. It's
Well,
beautiful.
stipulate that and sign the order.
Oh, he looks
And I
weird.
guess the officer that's waiting.
I don't know what that line is.
You can do that. I believe you know what's going on there.
Very odd.
And if we have anybody we haven't addressed there at the jail, Madam Jailer.
I guess the fact
I think that's money on Twitch.
Is there
think
anyone there that we haven't called?
It's a poor man Sue.
Oh, no, sorry.
She ain't no
This
Sue.
gentleman-
Don't
this gentleman
use
to
her
your
name.
left.
I said poor man.
He said he's wanting to ask you a question because he wants to know how he can go to a bed date and have an ankle monitor on or something.
He wants to ask you a question. He said his wife's being induced too.
monitor, something about wait until I was assessed. I don't know. Can I get out on the ankle bracelet right now? And wait for a bed?
Look at the judge. Look at it. Just,
Which case was that?
you got rabbit's blood, buddy?
He's waiting for a bed and he wants to get out till there's a bed.
Walter 405, Thirsty Thursdays, they call it.
Two very interesting videos we're going to watch. Be ready.
Okay. Give me his file here. What's his full name?
Both videos dealing with the P word. Two different P words, though.
We'll check this here.
Yes, sir.
Is the probation pro officer still in there?
He is, Your Honor.
And what was the deal on this gentleman here?
He's
Your
a
Honor,
criminal.
Mr. Pruitt was arrested, I believe, for assault.
Yeah, but I mean, you've agreed to send him to the long
Yeah.
term.
Yes, I emailed the social service clinician just a minute ago, letting her know that court would allow him to go to rehab, and we're just waiting on a bed
So
date.
there's
Should
no
be,
reason to have it, there's no reason to have an ankle monitor on if he's going directly to rehab, correct?
I don't think so, Your Honor.
You agree with that? The Commonwealth agree with that?
Yes, if he's going directly to rehab, that's fine.
Okay, see, the deal was, is I thought you might have to stay out a day or two before you went to the rehab, but if we're gonna wait now and they'll send you directly to rehab, so forget about the ankle monitor, okay? They'll get you a bed as soon as they can, okay?
Let you out a
Thank
day or
y'all
two
very
before you
much.
go to rehab.
You
That
can-
sounds like a great idea.
I mean, he's just got some things to take care of, Creed. He's the breadwinner at his house, and he needs to win a little bread before, going in for a couple of days. Rehab.
Are we subscribed to this? Because I like.
Okay,
I
so
like this guy.
I'm subscribed to it over here, but it's not a court. It's Megan Thompson. Now, Megan Thompson is the first name you
Mark
see
Brown.
when you rewind it. So I'm guessing Megan Thompson is like a clerk of court or something, a magistrate or maybe something like that. And this is her, but they don't get rid of these. It's interesting. I've rewound it to when they start talking to everyone in jail. So
You should look and see if you can find when
John,
the wheelchair
Do
lady
you want
comes
us to
out.
come in? the courtroom?
I don't. Let me see if I can find her.
Just for a second.
Give me a
Are
sec.
you Mark Brown? You born in 1975?
What do we got? In-person ones too that we can't see. Or?
They did at the beginning do in person. I mean, there is such a cavalcade of beauty that comes through here.
So what you've got is from earlier. Interesting.
Yeah, from when they started up things in the courtroom, in the jail. So it's just everybody coming up.
Barron County, you on the line? We don't have any other jail besides Barron.
Bring them online.
Barron County, are you on the line?
Have you connected the call
There they
yet?
are, There. There you go. Okay.
Yes, Your
Commonwealth-
Honor.
Okay, we're ready to start.
Wow, that's a good
Commonwealth
group.
versus
Oh,
Jackie
there.
Bowles. 22 CR 0056, Jackie Bowles.
I like how they have them seated so that the guys
Are you
can't
Jackie
look at
Bowles?
the girls. The girls can't look at the guys.
Born in 1958. Yes. Last four numbers of your social security are
Watch a couple
0557.
more of these that just happened, and I'll be okay.
We're here
Go
today on a pretrial conference. Y'all have anything to announce?
Your Honor, on Mr. Bowles' case, me and Mr. Stockton had an agreement to continue this until next month. There was also an agreement reached to release Mr. Bowles back onto the district court bond, which I believe was 10,000 at 10% with an ankle monitor.
That's correct, Your Honor, and with a curfew on his bond.
Okay. Well, the standard, we'll set your next, you want him there for the negotiation day?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, October the 7th.
This guy looks
at
mean
9
as hell. I'm
a.m.
not gonna
and
lie.
October the 20th are your two court dates, and I'll change the condition of your bond to 10,000, 10% with the normal curfew, go to church, work, or the doctor, okay?
They're
Okay,
amazing.
next case is Commonwealth versus David Bridges.
Paula, how are ya?
Are you David Bridges?
Yes, sir.
Born in 1970?
Yep.
Last four digits, your social security number?
6243.
Okay, this is 22 CR 0064. It says a pretrial conference. What does the Commonwealth have to say?
Your Honor, we were going to continue this for another month for another negotiation day.
Oh, wow, month.
Okay, October the 7th at 9 a.m., October the 20th at 9 a.m., both of them conditions of bond. What are the charges in this case that Mr. Bridges that you are proceeding with?
Drugs. Drugs.
Receiving stolen property, I
Oh,
believe.
No.
Stay out of jail, Paula. Stay out of jail.
Let me have.
Yeah, persistent felony, burglary, 3rd degree, I'm sorry, Your Honor, and then persistent felony offender. And Mr. Bridges has more charges coming.
Okay.
Your Honor, I do apologize. Mr. Bridges wanted me to inquire with you about his bond. He recently accepted a probation offer in Barron County with an SSC assessment. That was the intention to send him to long-term treatment. We are hoping that you would consider releasing him to go to a treatment program once it has been arranged and complete that program.
Well, the Commonwealth says he has other charges coming.
A treatment program for
Mr.
stealing?
Stockton is not here today. Are you saying Mr. Stockton is more familiar with this than you are? Is that what you're saying?
He is more familiar with it, but we would not be in agreement at this time until we can have a look at all of his other new charges coming.
Okay, well, we'll take a look at a bond. Y'all get together, and if you can't reach in the court, I'll get a date for a bond hearing, okay? See if we can get him in the treatment. At some juncture, you need to wrap all these cases up for Mr. Bridges, so Mr. Bridges can decide what he's
Mr.
facing,
Bridges.
what he needs to do, right, Mr. Bridges?
Laying up
Well,
in jail.
y'all kind of get that together and get back with me for Mr. Bridges then, okay? Thank you a lot. Jonathan Brown. Commonwealth versus Jonathan Brown.
John Brown.
CR 0011. Are you Jonathan Brown?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you born in 1976?
Yes, sir.
Last 4 digits, social security number is 0306. You're here on a motion for shock probation. Mr. Basil, are you there? Is this your motion?
No, Your Honor, this is the Commonwealth's motion.
Yes, Your Honor. It's our motion to revoke shock probation.
To revoke, it just says shock probation.
Shock.
Revocation. I see at the end. Okay, I'm sorry.
Shock
Go ahead,
treatment.
Commonwealth.
I would call Chase Collins.
Okay, Mr. Collins. You want
Like
to
this
raise your right
video.
hand, you swear the testimony about to give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do, Your Honor.
Okay, proceed.
State your name for the record.
Chase Collins,
How are you employed?
probation and parole, Department of Correction.
And have you been monitoring Mr. Jonathan Brown?
I'd have on April 21st of this year, Mr. Brown was granted probation for a period of 5 years and started supervision with me.
And what has happened in those during your time that you've been monitoring him?
On 8/17/2022, Mr. Brown was arrested and charged in Clay County, Tennessee, case number 2020-07416 for evading arrest, reckless endangerment, driving while license revoked, suspended, possession, casual exchange, unlawful drug paraphernalia, resisting stop arrest, reckless endangerment, and evading arrest.
8 charges.
While
on
on
probation.
The officer that made the arrest said, I, Deputy Storm Otterson, was traveling down 52 when I met a motorcycle passing a vehicle on double yellow lines and no passing zone. I activated my emergency equipment, turned around in an attempt to stop the motorcycle. At this time, the motorcycle was passing a semi truck in a no pass zone. The motorcycle continued to pass vehicles at a high rate of speed, putting multiple vehicles in danger. Once I was able to stop the vehicle, I located a bag of marijuana in the person's possession, as well as a pack of rolling papers and a roller of marijuana joint. It was later discovered that Mr. Brown was operating the vehicle on a revoked license. This did occur in Clay County.
Are you familiar with Mr. Brown's original charges?
Yes, it was
Can I get out today, Your Honor?
taking your disposition, auto to sale, and traffic control substance, methamphetamine, 1st degree.
When was
Oh,
when
no.
was he sentenced on that case?
4/25/22.
When was he granted shock probation?
It was that day.
And
Any
based
idea what
on
shock
this new
probation
charge-
is?
These new charges in Tennessee, does that violate his?
Can you pause that real quick?
Yes,
Something live that's happening over here. This looks like a
You were
fun
only
one.
in jail for those 2 cases at the 341st. Those 2 cases have been dismissed. You're going to be processed out today.
Oh, God bless you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
All that for that. They were.
I'm just glad to see Doc Brown getting out of jail.
It was going on for a little bit. He kept taking off the headphones and put them back on, and
Does
anal down
every-
there thinks it's funny as can be.
Does everybody have to wear headphones?
Okay.
I think
All right,
so.
what do you got there?
What's that?
Cool chest tap, bro.
What do we got? What's your name, sir?
Gilbert Samarripa.
49 District Court.
Gilbert Samarripa. Let's see if we can.
All right, let's go back. We can come back to this. We'll go back over to your to yours, but
Charge
I
has
just-
been in Tennessee been resolved.
Not to my knowledge, Your Honor.
When was he charged with these new charges?
Looks like August 17th this year.
There we go. There's the all the information on shock probation. The offenders and his prisons. There's some sentence.
Dave,
3 to 6 months. Look at that. I mean, so he was given, a chance. They were like, send him to prison. Like, look, here you go. This is your chance. Do right. And he's running amok.
I don't have any other questions. Your Honor.
Basil, you have any questions you want to ask the officer?
Yes, I do. Have these
Basil.
charges been to a grand jury or even been in front of a judge yet?
I have no knowledge of any of that in Tennessee.
Have you spoken to the arresting officer on this case?
I have not.
But these are charges, not convictions, right?
Yeah, they're just getting charges this time.
Since you have had him on your active supervision calendar, have you had any other issues with Mr. Brown at all?
No, Mr. Brown's reported as directed and even drug tested him, and he's been clean.
And did he test clean after this recent
Arrest?
series of events in Tennessee?
He did, yes.
Alleged, you want to say alleged instance in Tennessee?
Yeah, that's correct, Your Honor.
But he was
Chris,
caught
so,
with weed.
Chris, that's your traffic update.
Can you
Those are
tell the judge anything on his background as relates to his work?
I can just tell you from word of mouth what he's told me. What he stated, he had started his barbecue back up in Tennessee and was trying to build that business back up.
He was smoking some brisket.
As far
Your
as
Honor.
that, that's about the only thing I know.
Was that
Brisket,
Big Ed's
meth.
in Bowling Springs?
He likes it all.
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
Hello.
That's all I have for him, Your Honor. I would like to point out that he is an
Well,
employee.
it's not time for you to point out anything, and I'm gonna have to ask them to. They got any other witnesses? You have any
Son
other
of a
witnesses?
No other witnesses, Your Honor.
Okay, would you like to call any witnesses, Mr. Basil?
No, Your Honor, I would not. Mr.
Okay. What does the Commonwealth have to say?
Your Honor, just based on these new charges in Tennessee, we would just ask for him to
By the book.
be revoked, his shock probation, especially the seriousness of these charges, even though he hasn't been convicted yet. But based on the allegations themselves, I would ask for him to be revoked.
I heard. I haven't seen it yet.
Mr. Basil?
I heard of it.
Your Honor, he's an
Yeah, I heard about
employer.
it.
He has people that are relying on him. He advised in jail that he felt like he was going to be letting his community down if he was not able to keep this business open. People are relying on him. We're asking that he not be revoked. He's had no other issues. These are not.
Are you representing him in Tennessee on these matters, Mr. Basil?
I am not. I'm not
You
licensed.
don't- you don't- well.
Hell no,
you go
son.
down there on occasion and appear with a local lawyer. I didn't know, whether you were down there or not. I'm kind of
I mean, he
interested on the
own-
resolution of those.
he's a
things
business
down there.
owner.
Of course, he doesn't have to be convicted.
With
down
employees.
there. I guess he was arrested on a warrant. Was he arrested up here in Kentucky? Was he up here? Or did they arrest
On
him
a
down
probation
there?
violation. On a
Yeah.
probation violation here.
I believe when he reported to his probation officer is when he was arrested.
Okay, all right.
I bet his barbecue is amazing. Putting
And
it
I think
on
that
record.
goes to show that he's not a flight risk or not.
Well, that's not what I'm determining today. I'm not setting a bond,
No,
you know.
He showed up knowing that this possibility was here and he came anyway.
Let me talk to the probation officer again, bring him back around.
Yes, sir.
What,
I like this
what's
judge.
what's your advice on this thing?
Your Honor, I just, only thing I can say is just he, just the nature of the offense, I mean, Your Honor, he's always reported to me like he's supposed to on that side of the deal. I just, the
That stuff
fleeing
goes
and
a long way.
evading and the reckless endangerment and resisting stop arrest, that was always a red flag to me.
It is a red flag, you know, I mean, the thing that bothers me are when people are out driving under the influence, even if it's on a motorcycle, you could hurt some people, and then the resisting thing.
I wasn't under the influence.
Shut up.
Do you want your client to testify?
If he wants to, Your Honor.
Yeah, I think I'll give him a chance to explain it. Raise your right hand, please.
Oh,
All right.
Swear to testify that gives the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
See that coming, but okay.
State your name, please.
I didn't either.
Jonathan Edward Brown.
Okay, go ahead. You want to ask your client a question, Mr. Basil?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Brown, can you explain to the judge why there were any charges regarding fleeing or evading police?
I went to town and ordered my meat for my barbecue. I was opening up the next week, and I owed some people some money for doing some work, and I dropped down in the edge of Tennessee, not thinking.
They paid me
meat money.
Didn't have a helmet on, and the double line that I was passing on, it should have been a passing zone. I mean, it was a very long spot there. And
worked for the DOT.
Whenever I met the police officer, I didn't know that he was going to turn around and come back. And I went around the semi because I was already moving pretty good. And then whenever I got I looked in my mirror and the officer was on me. And whenever he was on me, he was on me so fast that I was scared to let off. And I went, maybe another 200 yards and let off of it and got stopped. And that's what it was, it's just, I wasn't trying to cause no problem. It was a beautiful day and I was riding.
And you feel like you pulled over within a reasonable time and as soon as it was safe to do so?
Yes.
Did they charge you with DUI?
No, sir.
He's gonna let him out.
I kind of think he might.
He's gonna let him out.
You have anything else, Mr. Basil?
Yeah, about the resisting. Why?
That's all I need to ask him because he does have these charges pending.
Is the barbecue in down in Tennessee or is it in Kentucky?
It's in Tennessee, Springs, and I just hired a cook, and he wasn't.
Yeah.
What's the name of it?
Does Commonwealth have any questions?
Well,
you don't have any questions, Commonwealth doesn't?
I do have some questions,
Okay,
Your
well, you
Honor.
may proceed, yeah.
Mr. Brown, do you have a driver's license?
No, apparently I don't. I didn't know that I didn't.
So you're operating a motorcycle without a driver's license that day.
But I did not know that.
That's not good.
And you passed a semi truck on a no pass.
Yes, ma'am, but it was a very, very, it was just a yellow line. It was safe.
And you didn't slow down until you saw the police officer. Is that what you testified?
No, I mean, I slowed down after I got around the car or after I got around the semi.
I like her. She's pretty
You
good.
were charged with evading arrest, resisting stop arrest.
I did. When I first saw him, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So with those charges, you feel like you stopped in a reasonable amount of time where he shouldn't have charged you with evading or resisting?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I don't have any questions, Your Honor.
Okay. When's your court date down in Tennessee?
September the 28th. I haven't got to see counsel for that yet. I've made one phone call.
I know we're saying it's not opened yet, but this was an existing business he was reopening because he had been in prison.
Right. I just need to get back to work because I'm letting my community down. I started in a nasty divorce.
Okay. All right.
These
I
people
understand
need
that.
barbecue, Your Honor.
Well, I don't like the charge, but at least he wasn't intoxicated while he was driving the vehicle. Let me take this under advisement, and you try to get counsel down in Tennessee. Mr. Basil, I know you're not licensed down there, but why don't you try to
Recommend
talk to your
somebody.
client, see who's going to represent him down there and see how they're looking at the thing down there. I'm going to take it under advisement. And I will, I'll bring it back up on October the 20th. If you can fill in the blank, Mr. Basil, a little bit about what they're going to do down in Tennessee and give a little bit more information. And I wouldn't mind hearing from the Tennessee officer either. Tennessee, I know that officer. I think he was originally from Cumberland County. He's a young officer. And so if you can get a hold of him, maybe get him on the Zoom the next month. I'll just take it under advisement. Okay?
Sir, may I please have an ankle monitor or
Well,
something?
no, I'm going to let them work with each other. I can't do anything down here from the officer. Okay. Okay. Now,
I risked it for the brisket.
And Mr. Basil, contact the Commonwealth and see what their position is on
Scott
the,
Basil, he's a
the monitoring
Basil,
thing
he's a
until I get testimony from the officer. 'Cause
I'll find one.
With the charges the way they are, you know.
I mean, we're gonna make them sit here for another month.
If y'all can interview the officer and get the officer to talk to Commonwealth here and explain a little bit more in detail. Okay. Thank you very much. Wendy Buckner.
Damn.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Wendy Buckner.
Huh.
Wendy Buckner,
Right.
move on the way, John Brown.
He was real close.
I thought so, man. Is this Wendy, the slow adult?
She looks like a real, you know what?
Man. Now
This is
I
a
want
great
barbecue.
court, by the way.
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic.
We're all wondering. I guess the meat's going to be frozen longer, I guess, and the other dude's all going to go get a new job, I guess.
You can either file for unemployment or just head on out.
Commonwealth versus Wendy Buckner. You have an attorney, Ms. Buckner?
I have a Ken Garrett, I believe, is the one I'm playing originally. But that's part was indicted.
He said F her. He's not going to be here today.
Mr. Garrett, is Mr. Garrett back there or did he leave?
I'm here, Judge.
You represent this person here?
I do not, Judge. I've not been appointed for about 10 or 15 years.
Oh,
It wasn't him, it was Ken. I'm not sure what his last name was. There's someone, I was appointing someone originally when I was charged.
Office of Public Advocacy?
Yes.
I haven't done this, Judge, in 15 years.
That was great.
She's lying through her goddamn teeth, Judge.
Okay, I'm going to appoint you a public advocate.
Public advocate, they call
Yeah. F. Lee Bailey is my attorney. Is he here? He works with Johnny Cochran. I like how she pulled that name out of her ass.
Too bad Dave wasn't here
You
because
are
he
Wendy Buckner?
yeah,
What's your year of birth?
Why not?
5179.
yeah.
What are the last four digits of your social security number?
5394.
And your purpose of arraignment, you have the right to remain silent. The grand jury of Monroe County's returned indictment charging you with assault in the second degree, arson in the third degree, being a persistent felony offender.
Oh,
both of those charges.
Look at her face.
Persistent. She's about to burn this place down.
Sending the indictment back to you, counsel. Do you acknowledge the identity of your client, receive the indictment, waive formal reading and arraignment, enter plea of not guilty, reserving all pretrial motions?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, October the 7th is the negotiation day on this case at 9 a.m. October the 20th is the next pretrial. Okay,
Thank you, Your Honor.
thank you very
Let's
much.
go, baby.
Matthew Burkhead.
But they got to touch that guy on the
Matthew
back.
Burkhead.
Go ahead,
Commonwealth
bud.
versus Matthew Burkhead.
When he was sitting behind him, he had his
21
hand
CR
down in his,
00110.
in his
Are you
pants.
Matthew Burkhead?
like
Yes,
that
sir.
one girl did at the Bills game that time. Remember that?
Born in 1993.
Makes sense.
Yes, sir.
Last four digits, social security number
Howard, this is court,
6665.
and these people have been arrested
on
for doing
pretrial
bad
conference.
things.
What do you have, counsel? Was it
We
Commonwealth?
just sit here and watch it.
We have a
Welcome,
felony
Howard.
plea, Your Honor.
And welcome.
Okay.
Don't forget Thirsty Thursday on We Got a Chase today coming up at 4:05 East, 105 Pacific.
Sorry, I had an itch.
Get it. Maybe.
Does this guy own a food
Motion's
business?
been tendered. Mr. Burkhead, that says you wish. to
Burkhead, you
approve. Is that correct?
smoke brisket, do
Are
you?
you currently under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
Nope.
It's plea freely and voluntarily given. Are you the same person named in indictment number 21 CR 00110? Is your judgment impaired today in any way?
Every day, Your
Have
Honor.
you had plenty of time to discuss this matter with
Obviously.
your attorney, and are you satisfied with her advice?
Yes, sir.
You have certain rights under the Kentucky and United States Constitution. You do not have to enter a guilty plea today. Before I can accept a guilty plea, I need to know that you fully understand those rights. You have a right not to testify against yourself. No one can make you say anything. Your right to speed trial by jury, right to be represented by counsel at your jury trial. Right to confront and cross-examine all witnesses called to testify against you. The right to produce evidence. Right to call witnesses in your favor. Right to appeal this matter to higher court if you lose, and right to require the Commonwealth prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you're guilty of charges against you. Understand that by entering a guilty plea today, you give up those rights. I may consider the Commonwealth's recommendation, but I may apply any range of sentence allowed by law. Prior to accepting the recommendation, I will wait.
Those two girls are really having a good time.
Probation and parole.
I don't even think
If I
jail's
do
that
not
bad,
accept the
Creed.
Commonwealth's recommendation and decide to impose a harsher sentence, I'll
Either
give you
they're
an
in love.
opportunity to agree with that, or you can withdraw your plea and go to trial.
It's just a big
What is
party.
the Commonwealth's recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. Upon a plea of guilty to possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 5 years. Upon a plea of guilty to possession of a handgun by a convicted felon, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 10 years. The two 10-year sentences shall run.
Okay, let me
concurrent-
stop you.
Yeah.
Let me stop you. When I was reading it earlier, it says the two 10-year sentences. It just should say the two sentences. That's what it should say. Isn't that right?
It's 2, 5. Is it 1, 5 and 2, 1, 10?
5, 1, 10.
Yes.
Okay.
5, 1, 10. Yes, it should say the two sentences.
Okay.
Yeah, the two sentences shall run concurrently for a total of 10 years. Serve 180 days in jail.
That's them, not us.
Okay, your microphone is off.
Look at her eyes
Sorry,
go.
Your Honor. I'll back up. The two
Amber
sentences
frame.
shall run concurrently for a total of 10 years. Serve 180 days in jail with the balance probated for 5 years. Probation shall be supervised. The defendant agrees to enter and complete a long-term treatment facility scheduled through DPA. The firearm shall be returned to Tommy Smith if he provides ownership or registration of each gun. Any remaining guns shall be
Pew, pew,
forfeited.
Amber.
The defendant shall pay court costs at the discretion of the court. The defendant shall remain on active supervision until all restitution, if applicable, and fines and court costs are paid in full and further orders of the court. The defendant shall obtain gainful employment or do a minimum of 30 hours per week until gainful employment is obtained.
10
what you
years he's
agreed
going to
to?
pull.
Yes, sir.
Are you pleading guilty because you didn't commit the acts as charged or as amended in the indictment?
He's going to prison.
As mentioned in the indictment.
Do you plead guilty because you did do the acts that were set out in the indictment or in the indictment as amended or changed? Is this what, did you do these things that you're pleading guilty to?
Yeah.
Okay. Knowing your constitutional rights, I've explained to you, is it still your desire to give up those rights and allow the court to fix your punishment in the range of sentence permitted by law?
I mean,
Okay, you understand that entering a guilty plea, any future convictions that you have of felonies could be enhanced under persistent felony offender law. They'd be more serious. You understand that? Counsel, would you hold the document
That's interesting
signed
about
up
the persistent
to the camera? Is
felony
that
law.
your signature on there, young man?
Sir.
I'll accept the plea agreement, order precinct's investigation report.
Those two girls are
And
really
probation
into each
parole, if you
other.
listen to this, I'm very interested in whose guns these were, the
Monkeys.
proximity to the guns, the handguns, that sort of thing.
Pew pews, Judge.
I think they
I'm
might
a
start
little
making
wary
out
of-
at any
of
time.
guns with
Do it.
convicted felons. Things. Okay, well, we'll schedule the sentencing on October the 20th, okay?
Mike,
James
keep an eye
Carter, James
on-
Carter.
on those two girls. I want to jump over as we're swearing in here at Texas protective order courts.
Oh, I like that.
And check in on that as we
Protective
start to
order,
wind things down a little
it will
bit
be
for
in
we got
place
a
for 2
case today.
years.
I think Raymond's lost.
And do you currently own or possess any firearms or ammunition of any type?
Pew pew, Your Honor.
Do you have a concealed handgun license or a license to carry?
No, ma'am.
Do you currently have care, custody, or control of any firearms or ammunition?
No, ma'am.
At your address on Flamingo Way in Duncanville, Texas,
Tay
are there
tay.
any firearms or ammunition located at that address?
No, ma'am. Not that I know of.
Do you live there alone, sir, then?
Excuse me?
Do you live there alone when you say not that you
No.
know of?
No, ma'am. My auntie and my uncle.
To your knowledge, are there any firearms or ammunition located at that address?
No, ma'am.
Do you currently work in an occupation where you are required to use firearms or ammunition?
No, ma'am.
Do you currently work at a location where firearms or ammunition are available to you?
Apparently, we're worried about him having any pew pews. No.
Very
You
worried.
understand, pursuant to law and court order, you are prohibited from having care, custody, control, access, ownership, or possession.
Chad, don't
of
be a
any
Chad.
Firearms and ammunition during the 2 years of this protective order.
Yes, ma'am.
And finally, sir, you understand you've given this testimony under oath and subject to the penalties for perjury.
What,
And if
Viking?
the information turned out to be false, you could be subject to criminal charges or contempt charges or both.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Do you currently own a
Anything
barbecue
further,
joint?
Ms. Miracle?
Nothing further, Judge.
I will approve the agreed protective order and sign off on the testimony given with respect to firearms. And that will conclude this matter. Off the record.
Thank you.
Archie and the Miracle are
Next, we
sitting
have
in the same
information
spot.
to
It's very
forward
weird.
To you, Ms. Miracle, do you have that?
I do. I have his email. Yes, I'll send that to him. And
They're
I'll
very
send it to
close.
you. Yes.
Okay. Then you guys are free to go at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. You can go ahead and log off.
They do these rapid fire.
If that's the case, let's watch one more. I was gonna say if you have a moment, I would love to see what the wheelchair
All
girl is
right.
in for.
Do we have
You
everybody?
see, I'm trying to figure out. I'm looking. I don't
Ferguson
think
and-
they see everybody though. That's the thing I'm worried about. I'm
Okay.
looking through.
You and I think we have everyone. Are y'all ready?
Raymond and Cheryl.
Yeah, sure.
Debbie, are you good?
Ah.
All right. Let's go back on the record in
The record.
matter of Williams and Ferguson, case number 22-00492.
You've been blowing her phone up.
We're in the middle of your questions. You may proceed.
Yes. So Miss Williams, did you were you ever taken off as the payee for Desmond?
Yes, they sent the letter as of August 9th.
Archie, spit it out,
Was there
please.
anything that you had that belonged to Desmond? Did you return that back to Social Security?
Yes, ma'am, I returned all funds.
Miss Williams, has Mr. Ferguson
stealing
been
money?
violent against you at any other time?
No,
And this was a fairly short-term relationship, correct?
correct.
Why do you believe you need a protective order?
I believe he tried to kill me. He told me he would kill me. And just the rage and the rage in his face and in his eyes.
Jesus
and
Christ.
just the harm. I believe that if he had the opportunity, he would do it again, but next time it would be worse.
Oh my God. That's kind of
Had
terrifying.
he shared with you anything about him being violent against anyone else?
Yes, he has shared with me
Look at little
several
Coltsy
times
back there.
about how he was got into it with one of his past girlfriends, and he went to jail behind it. And when he got out, he was back in jail within less than 6 or 5 hours because he went after her. You know, there was just an incident with the previous person that he left Colorado from in November. Her ribs came up broken. He said it was Desmond, but I strongly believe it was Raymond.
They come up broken.
I'm scared of him. I'm petrified of Raymond, and I don't want to take the chance.
I mean,
Okay. Have you been able to stay at your home peacefully since this incident took place?
I agree too, DMN.
I've been in and out of my place because of the dramatic stress I'm going through. But I mean,
Wheelchair lady never comes up.
contact me. Desmond tried to contact me.
Thanks for looking.
So you believe he would get violent against you again if given the opportunity?
Yes, ma'am.
And you believe you need this protective order?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll pass the witness.
Mr. Ferguson, at this time, you can ask questions of the witness. It is not your time to testify yet. At this time, though, you can ask questions. Do you have any, sir?
Oh, hell, here we go.
You have
So,
any?
Ms. Wood,
Oh,
yes,
you
I
do.
hear you.
Go
Yes.
ahead.
So, Ms. Williams, to your knowledge, what was the reason why myself and my son left Colorado and relocated to Dallas?
You stated that you was moving to have him closer to his family.
Did I not state to you that I was moving so I could be closer to my family and grandbaby?
Same thing.
Yes.
And so also, you stated earlier that there was a problem with my ex-girlfriend and her ribs. And you
They
believe
tasted
I did it?
terrible.
Yes.
So also you stated that my ex-girlfriend of the last 15 years, who also happens to be the lady that was involved in the domestic violence 17 years ago, that she stole money.
Like you did, bitch.
You stated that that's why she wasn't the payee.
Did I ever express to you the reason why she wasn't in our home anymore? My residence in Colorado?
No.
I didn't express to you why she wasn't there?
No.
You just assumed it was because of some money?
No, I did not assume anything.
Okay.
Oh,
So, how did it happen that you became Desmond's payee?
You asked me to be Desmond's payee because you said that she was no longer going to be his payee, and you didn't want Desmond to have lose his benefits, because if he didn't have a payee, it would go into a suspension, or you would have to totally reapply.
Do you
understand that part?
How long Desmond has been on Social Security and receiving benefits?
Since his accident.
When was his accident, ma'am?
2000, whenever he had his car accident, 2014, 2010, whenever it was, right?
Oh, you don't know.
2004. And since 2004, he hasn't been on disability except for 2007.
Objection. Mr. Ferguson is testifying.
Yes, sir. You just need to ask questions at this point. You'll have an opportunity to testify under oath later.
Okay. So, Ms. Williams, why is it, again, I'm unclear that you believe that I would cause you harm or be a threat to you in any way?
Because you told me you would kill me, and you told me you was gonna kill me, and you also told me that you was trying to calm yourself down so you wouldn't kill me.
So, what was the reason, Ms. Williams, for any kind of interaction between you and I that day on July the 9th?
It started off in regards to the discussing of the payee.
He didn't kill her though.
So
Empty promises.
on July the 1st, was there an incident with Desmond and yourself while I was at work?
Yes,
in your
Desmond
vehicle?
tried to jump on me.
Desmond, what?
Desmond also tried to jump on me.
He tried to jump on you in your vehicle while I was at work?
Yes.
Why is she so slow to answer
That
every
didn't make any
question?
sense. So while you and Desmond were in your vehicle alone by Story and MacArthur Street, and you put him out your vehicle, what?
Objection. Your Honor, he's testifying.
I sustain. Just ask questions.
Archie, your phone's ringing.
Okay, so
Debbie's calling.
So did Desmond attack you? In
What
the
does she mean by jump on?
No, Desmond became irate with me and I put Desmond out of my vehicle.
Okay. So where was I at that moment? Where was Raymond?
He was actually on the phone with me. You was at work.
Okay. And so
Why want you at work,
how long were you
Cheryl?
on Miss Williams?
Probably maybe an hour.
And why were you and I on the phone, Miss Williams?
Because I had taken Desmond to the doctor to his appointment for his wellness check. And I was explaining to you what occurred at the doctor.
So he didn't attack you in the car that day, Miss Williams? Which is it? He did or he didn't? I mean,
Objection. Relevance, Your Honor.
I'll overrule it this time. Go ahead.
Thanks, Archie.
she stated that he attacked her in a car. I'm just trying to get a clear
I believe it was
understanding.
jumped on.
It was overruled. She has to answer.
Okay, Miss Williams, were you attacked in the vehicle or did you ask him to exit your vehicle while I was on the phone?
Desmond tried to attack me in the vehicle. I asked him to exit my car after he became very irate.
Did he have his jumping shoes on?
What was my response?
Put him out.
Excuse me?
Put him out.
Put him out. What's that? Put him out.
That was your response. Put him out the car.
No, ma'am. So, okay. So what happened in the time after you putting him out of your vehicle and me being on the phone with you? What was going on? Because you say you and I were on the phone for an hour. So what were we doing while he was put out the vehicle?
I was explaining to you the events of him being at the doctor and what was going on. I actually tried to get Desmond and have Desmond get back in the car to take him home. But after
Is Desmond the
attempts
child, or
with
I'm
that,
guessing so. That
I
was in an
went to go
accident.
off and went to pick up prescriptions, and then I went home.
Quite a while ago. By
So was this your first negative interaction with Desmond?
No.
How many other times would you say?
Your Honor,
Archie has something to say.
This line of questioning.
I have a question, Mr. Ferguson. Can you tell me how this is relevant to the question of whether family violence occurred?
Parliamentary procedure, Your Honor.
Ms. Williams.
Because there was actually assault that night, and I was the guy that got in between another guy trying to assault Miss Williams, and in fact, they called an assault charge against me from protecting her only 8 days earlier. I'm just trying to get an understanding. Also, she stated that earlier that I was the one that broke my ex-girlfriend's ribs in Colorado, which is untrue. So I'm just trying to lay a foundation.
I'm going to sustain the objection as to the last question about violence with Desmond, but go ahead and proceed with your questions.
We all over the place.
You indicated something totally different that you were trying to ask.
Is it true, Miss Williams, you've eaten spam that's been desalted? Answer the question.
So at any time, Miss Williams, since I knew you at the end of October, had you and I ever had any kind of altercation?
Just use an eye.
Excuse me?
No.
And so what transpired in order for you and I to have a conversation?
Quiet, Archie.
We was discussing the payee account. I was trying to explain to you about the payee account and the savings account and the funds within the savings account and the payee account and how they was used, the funds actually from the savings account, how they was used. You stated that they did not match. It did not make sense. So what I told you was, Raymond, when you figure it out, look over it, you let me know, because I have receipts for everything that I did. I picked up the paper. You had the paper. You were standing at the side of the bed, and I tossed the paper over on the bed.
Raymond.
I was reaching to grab my purse.
Is she
And
reading
to leave
this?
the premises. You grabbed my purse and you took it from me. And you was like, put it back, put the papers back like I had them. Put them back now. And I said, let my purse go.
Next time you ask me a question, I'm going
I
to
mean-
answer it like this, Mikey.
You didn't do that. Then you start hollering and yelling at me.
Hollering.
And it escalated from there.
Holla
And
if you
start
hear
calling
me.
y'all kind of names.
So, Ms. Williams, I asked you on July the 2nd, the day that Desmond was released from jail, to get a better understanding where all of this
Desmond went to jail.
aggression towards you specifically was coming from. Did I ask you and I to have a conversation to try to figure out why all of a sudden, since we came from Colorado, that this guy is just more angry and actually violent and more directed towards you? And so that we needed to figure out.
Is
Did I ask you
Desmond
that?
her lover, maybe?
No, it's his son.
I didn't. Okay. So
I think
did
Raymond
ask
and her
you
banging
to provide
were,
me
excuse me.
statements for 3 months since you wouldn't provide statements for me? Did I at that point put my foot down and say, I need the statements to his account at that time?
And I told you I had the statement. Yes, you did.
Okay, thank you. And so did you provide those statements?
I don't know who to
me
believe
in
here,
my
Ann.
hand, the payee account statements and also the payee accounts savings, Desmond's savings account statements for just
Second,
only.
sir. What's Miss Archie?
Join the dark order.
Relevance, Your Honor.
I'll overrule at this time. It's, as I understand it, it's part of the situation.
We're
Go
guessing
ahead.
it's the child, but I'm not
It's-
sure.
It's Raymond's son.
Did you not on Friday evening bring those documents to me, those statements, and hand them to me as I returned from work that evening?
Yes.
Because I feel like Raymond's anywhere between
And so
40 and 60 years old.
Did I decide that I would just put it to the side? It's been a long work week, been trying to figure things out. And so I'll deal with it the next day.
Objection, Your Honor. Mr. Ferguson is testifying.
Sustain. Just ask questions,
You are
sir.
not.
So on the morning of
Oh,
July the
testify.
9th, can you tell me when you woke up that morning and when Mr. Ferguson woke up that morning?
I'm not sure. You
He
wake
woke
up
up
at 5 something or 4
on
something.
the wrong side of the bed.
I
What
woke up.
time did I wake up that morning?
I'm not sure, Raymond, what time you woke up that morning. I woke up probably about 6 o'clock that morning. You might have been up an hour before me.
And so once you got up on July the 9th, Ms. Williams, how did you start your day? What did you start doing?
Methamphetamine.
I woke up, I fixed breakfast. I went and got a shower. And I was headed out to take care of some things.
The lie detector test
And so
determined.
was Mr. Ferguson,
that was a
Raymond
lie.
Ferguson, already awake, you said, an hour before you?
Yes.
So what was Mr. Ferguson doing in that time?
He's Mr.
You
Ferguson.
had been out on a patio. You had been in the front room. Not sure.
So
Did you witness me doing
you're not sure?
15
You sure about what you did? But you're not sure about what Mr. Ferguson did?
No.
He did. It is.
So how did you and Mr. Ferguson get to the point to where he's standing on the side of the bed looking at papers and you doing what?
You then asked me as I came out of the bathroom the last time, you asked me if I was ready to go over the account, over the paperwork, those accounts.
And so did you and we go over those accounts?
Yes.
Did
I
you and I
started to explain them to you. And then once again, I was telling you about what was from what account, what was from what account. I had already previously given you receipt. I had already previously given you receipts of the funds that was spent from the savings account. I had already told you how it was used.
Is it true you caught me
what was
right here in
Mr.
this
Ferguson's
room
response?
fighting demons?
It did not make sense.
It just Mr. Ferguson, you are in a courtroom. You can't be walking around. I don't know what you're doing, sir, but you need to be in one place.
I'm sorry, I was just going to grab this paperwork so I can be right on it.
If you need a
So-
break, let us know, but you are not allowed to be walking around while you're asking questions. And
Oh, okay, I'm fine, I'm seated. So did Mr. Ferguson in that moment, the next day after he got the statements from you, find discrepancies in his son's money management?
Mr. Ferguson said he found discrepancies in his son's money management.
Why is she messing with his son's money in the first place?
Accounts that you're overseer over for Desmond Ferguson, correct?
Yes.
And one of those accounts, the payee account, explain to me how that worked.
Objection, Your Honor.
Objection.
As to relevance,
Mr. Ferguson, the only issues before the court today are whether family violence occurred and whether it's likely to occur in the future.
He is going down some weird
I'm
paths.
going to sustain the relevance objection. Please move on, sir.
I'm just trying to get to an understanding where someone could be so violent and so angry and do all these things and pounce and do all this. I'm just trying to bring it all out there, you know. And so with all of these things and all of this money stolen from my son, you know, I
allegedly
never touched this lady. And so I'm just trying to ask questions about that time, that day.
All right, I'm going to still sustain the objections. I've allowed you some leeway. I need you to address issues, though, regarding the family violence allegations and whether or not there is a concern for the future. Go ahead, sir.
He don't have nothing for that.
That's the thing.
So, Miss Williams, what is
this paperwork
concern with Mr. Ferguson? Have you seen Mr. Ferguson since the Sunday, July 10th at all?
No.
Has Mr. Ferguson harassed you at all?
No.
Has Mr. Ferguson called you at all?
No.
Has Mr. Ferguson emailed you at all?
No.
Has Mr. Ferguson contacted or been in contact with anyone that you mutually know?
Is Mr. Ferguson considered one of your top 10 lovers?
So so there had never been any kind of altercation with Mr. Ferguson before, ever.
Exactly.
Correct?
Thank you.
Not before July 9th. Physical.
Why would we make a random woman the payee?
So let me ask you a question. Had you and Mr. Ferguson?
When was the last time you and Mr. Ferguson made sweet, sweet love?
Have you ever seen Mr. Ferguson bench press 275 pounds?
It'd be
More
awesome
than-
if there was some meeting between them two or they hung out or something at any time.
So did you
'cause-
and Mr. Ferguson come to a mutual understanding of what money was missing and why?
Again, with the money.
From the accounts, Mr.
The-
Williams?
Objection, Your Honor, relevance, and Your Honor, I believe Mr. Ferguson had told me that there is a lawsuit that he filed regarding that matter, so that should be handled in that court.
Shit.
I will sustain as to relevance. Let's stay with the issues the court has to
Mr.
decide.
Ferguson's
Go ahead,
not
sir.
doing so well.
Miss Williams, have you ever seen Mr. Ferguson possess a firearm?
No,
Miss Williams, have you ever seen Mr. Ferguson with ammunition?
no,
Have you ever seen him
Miss
violent?
Williams, have you ever been around Mr. Ferguson and him be around
a
any
knife.
guns?
no.
Has he ever picked up a pointy stick in your presence? Has he ever drank Diet Coke instead of regular Coke just because the place didn't have it at that time?
Miss Williams, have you ever seen Mr. Ferguson be violently aggressive or hold or pinned or grab anyone ever?
There you go.
Not hold or pin, but I have seen Mr. Ferguson be very violently aggressive, even toward Desmond.
Oh, well, that didn't work out so well. He's laughing, of course, but that doesn't make you look good.
No, that doesn't. He laughs a lot, by the way.
You got into it with Desmond because Desmond started out on me, but when you came in, basically it was like two pit bulls going at each other. You was very violently aggressive. Even the day that he got out of jail, you all got into it in the parking lot at Integris Hospital, going at each other. So yes, I have seen you be very violent and aggressive. I've seen you be very violent and aggressive toward me.
Towards you, would you care to elaborate, Miss Williams?
July 9th.
Oh,
no shit.
This is not going well, Raymond.
So
I have more Team Cheryl at the
on
moment.
July the 2nd, you said that Desmond got out of jail. Do you know what Desmond went to jail for?
Objection, objection.
Whoa, wait a
relevance,
minute.
Your Honor.
I'm going to allow some leeway over.
Yeah. Thank you, Judge.
Miss Williams, do you know why Mr. Desmond Ferguson went to jail on July the 1st?
Why?
Desmond went to jail because he was trying to attack me.
And during
the
course of that attack, did anything else happen? That's almost attack.
During the course of that attack, because I was fearful of Desmond. And it had been several times since Desmond had tried to attack me. After you saw that I was going to head to the kitchen, going to the kitchen to get a knife to get Desmond away from me, then you got up and pushed Desmond back.
She brandished a knife.
Mr. Ferguson, you're on mute.
I pushed Desmond back, Williams. Is that what you said?
Yes.
No, Mr. Ferguson did.
So how is it that he went to jail with an assault charge against me if I pushed him back?
You pushed Desmond back. Desmond pushed you back.
What was the pushing for? What was going on?
Objection, relevance, Your Honor.
I'm guessing Desmond's in his 20s. Late.
Which violence was directed against him. So I'm going to overrule right now until there's some clarification. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Miss Williams, what was Desmond Ferguson's charge on July the 1st at your residence?
For pushing you.
What was his charge?
For pushing you.
What was it?
So, Miss Williams,
I
do
am so
you
50-50
recall
on this
Desmond
one.
Ferguson was released from jail
It was Saturday.
Chris.
Afternoon.
Saturday afternoon. What day?
Objection, relevance, Your Honor.
It has relevance.
I'm giving some leeway on this. I'm
This
gonna
is
overrule it
insane.
this time. But please get through whatever these questions are.
Please finish what the hell you're doing.
Desmond went to jail, Miss Williams. And so you and I had a discussion the morning to go get money out of his savings account to bail himself out of jail. correct?
Objection. He's testifying, Your Honor. It's not a question.
Just ask questions, sir.
Ms. Williams, were you sent to the bank to retrieve money from Desmond's savings account so he would be able to bond himself out of jail? Yes or no?
Yes.
I'll BRB
Miss
in the
Williams,
comments.
did you
Who's winning?
retrieve all of the $581
Please let us know.
she needed to get out of jail?
And what's under Mary's
It was
nail?
400 and something, and I retrieved it.
Excuse me? I didn't understand that answer.
It was 400 and something, and yes, I did go get the funds.
The bail was $581, correct, Miss
Objection,
Williams?
argumentative.
I'm going to sustain. Please ask some questions, sir.
You know, I can't. I mean, I'm just trying to ask questions. This is all relevant. This is all relevant to this exact nature of this whole case. She says I touched her. I say I didn't touch her. I'm trying to build up all of these things and all of this restraint and all of where her anger was centered. And the things that she has said is just untrue. So what should I do? Just not be a lawyer and just let it go? I mean, I'm trying to do the best I can, you know, with forming these
You need to ask questions, sir, and I've allowed some leeway. I need you to move on. If there's
okay,
something else you haven't asked, go
let's
ahead.
move on, because I'm not going to be able to get you. I'm not going to be able to get my point across, and so it's.
You're going to be able to testify yourself and offer any witnesses you wish. Do you have any more questions of this witness?
No, not at this time.
All right. Anything further, Miss Archie?
No,
I can't wait for him to cross-examine himself.
Call myself.
All right, go ahead.
I'll call myself for attorney fee testimony. Your Honor, my name is Sharon Archie. I'm a licensed attorney in the state of Texas. I'm familiar with fees commonly charged for the filing and processing of protective orders. I'm asking the court, should it grant the protective order, to award reasonable attorney's fees at an amount of $400 and an additional $150 an hour fee for each hour of this proceeding. I'll pass myself regarding attorney fee testimony.
Any questions, sir?
No.
Okay. Any further, Miss Archie?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Ferguson, at this time, you can offer your own witnesses, including yourself. Do you wish to call any witnesses?
No, I don't have any witnesses, man. There's no one.
You can testify yourself. Do you wish to
Where's
call
Desmond?
a witness?
Absolutely.
All right. I need to swear you in.
Where's Desmond?
You solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Go ahead.
So, can I just freely speak now?
You may. If you see Miss Archie raise her hand, that may mean she has an objection and we need to stop and let me rule on that.
Okay, so this was all the progression when I was in Colorado, and the reason why my ex lady of the last 15 years and I split up was because, you know, my son was becoming aggressive, and he actually had attacked me that morning, and no one called the police or nothing. I left the house. I came back. They were fighting. Him and my ex. They were just verbally fighting. And so as I walked in the door, she rushed down the hallway. He went after her, shoved her in the bathroom. She landed between the toilet and the bathtub and cracked her ribs. I went in and helped her up, and I told him, you're going to go to jail, you know, and sit down and start talking with him. The police never showed up. They never came. So obviously she never called them. The very next day, she sat down with me at the table at breakfast and telling me, you know.
Objection, relevance, Your Honor.
I'll overrule right now. Go ahead, sir.
And so she was going to leave our home that we had been together for all these years. I totally agreed. He's my biological son. I wasn't going anywhere. This is just a start. So then she never stole any money. She never was inappropriate with any of his money. In fact, she removed herself as his payee because she had been his payee for the previous 7 years. And so since we were going to end the relationship because of that situation, then she moved out slowly and she left. Before this time, I had met Miss Williams in October at my uncle's funeral service. I'm a truck driver. I drive a truck. And so she started calling me and calling me.
We know what truck drivers are.
You know, by the time I'm just driving them down the road and I talked to her. We talked about a number of different things, life, past, all of this, just trying to get to know each other. We wasn't involved in a relationship. And so eventually, you know, my ex left. Miss Williams came to Colorado in December. I had already, you know, talked with my job, talked to the Dallas facility, and was going to be transferring with my job to keep my seniority. And I had just been pre-approved to buy a house, wanted everything just to follow me, everything to be the same. Us alongside of my youngest kid, he just had a grandbaby. I wanted to be closer to that. Also, my son, on his mother's side, he has several family members that live here and around the Dallas area. So it was the decision to move here so we could be closer to our families in Oklahoma, and then he could have someone else engaged besides me. Because like I said, you know, he has a traumatic brain injury, and it's just me and him. So Miss Williams comes in the week of Christmas. Desmond and I were flying to Dallas, and he was going to spend the week with his family, and I was going to get a rental car, go back and forth. So instead, Miss Williams, she comes to Colorado, and instead of me flying, Desmond flew on Tuesday.
He's laying out all the lore. I mean, just all of it.
Miss Archie?
I'm going to object to relevance. I understand that Mr. Ferguson want to tell us his side of the story, but it's not relevant to every detail that happened during this relationship. It's not relevant to whether or not family violence occurred and the likelihood of it happening again.
Yes, I understand the applicant's position. It's because of these other incidents that she described that would give rise to the likelihood of it happening again. I am going to allow
this makes everybody's life look good
regarding those relationships to try and put it in context. But if you feel like he's going far afield, please object. I'm not saying don't object, but go ahead. Mr. Ferguson, can you slow down just a little bit? You're about to burn the court reporter's fingers off.
Okay, I sincerely apologize. So the week of Christmas, that week, I canceled my flight. I rented a U-Haul, loaded up all of my 3-bedroom
Go again.
house.
He's doing it right back into it.
I'm going to object. I understand if regarding the relationship with the other person, he's addressed that. Okay. But how he moved, when he moved, he canceled his flight, that's just not relevant.
I need you to leave out some of those details, sir.
Okay.
No,
so
like the
week
U-Haul.
that I was moving my furniture out, and Miss Williams,
I'm sorry, it was a Penske truck.
She asked me for a $500 loan. And so I was like, you know, we've had all these conversations. I told you I don't want to do that. I want to be with somebody that's alone beside me, not in front of me, not behind me. So she asked me for a $500 loan. I loaned her the $500. She was supposed to pay me money back on January 11th. January 11th came around and she didn't have that money. And then she wanted to borrow another $380. So reluctantly, I loaned her another $380 before any one of those loans could get paid. She asked me for another $360.
Here comes the money.
I told her, no, absolutely not. We're too early in. I can't be loaning you all this money. What are you doing mismanaging your money? I understand Christmas is just over and everything, but I need my money back. And so this is when the problems start coming in with Miss Williams, because it's just a money grab, you know. So she was constantly calling me. When are you coming? When are you coming? When are you coming? And so what actually had happened is I had a surgery, and I was going to have completion of that surgery by the same doctor. So I was going to
goodbye, vamoose, adios, ciao, so long, get your hat jack.
Transferred to then. Then all of a sudden, on January 28th, my birthday, Miss Williams was in Colorado.
Does he take a breath?
Colorado, no. 2 months. And so they expedited my surgery. to February the 7th. So Miss Williams
Doctor said it was way worse than he thought.
Wanted to go to surgery. She drove me to surgery. After surgery, we get home, everything was fine. She advises me, oh, that was her birthday. Oh, February 7th was your birthday. I've been talking to you for a few months. I never know you.
Me too, Archie, me too.
Okay. So,
she said, it's my birthday. How about $380?
You know, I told her I felt bad and I wanted her to take her to the casino up in the mountains and I wanted to buy her some jewelry. So I tell her to go on there and pick out some jewelry. She goes and picks out some jewelry, hands me the phone to check out. Then she looks at me like, and I'm like, wow, I'm trying to buy you some jewelry and you're going to try to make me buy them too? So I was like, wow, I was just really getting a bad vibe with her. Also, the same evening, that night, 11 p.m., I take her to the casino. I give her $100.
Look at her. She's like,
and instead of her using it, she pulls money out of another pocket. She wins a little bit of money. And then.
Just a second, sir. Relevance, Miss Archie.
Relevance, Your Honor. Is
forget that.
Mr. Ferguson, I need you to.
The room's real nice, Judge. I mean, real nice. And she's like, this is it.
Only what you need to
I said, look here.
It's relevant to whether or not family violence occurred or
So
whether
make the
it's
money.
likely to occur again.
So what I'm saying is just example after example of
Look at the
things,
Jerry.
things that was really getting under my skin with Miss Williams. There was no altercations. There was no fighting. There was nothing seen because there's nothing there of any violence. It was just all of a grimy person. And I just didn't want it. You know what I mean? So even coming to Texas and coming down there, I told Miss Williams, she didn't ask me. I told her, look, I'll give you $1,000 a month for a stand there. After 2 days, she told us, well, I'm going to have to raise it up to $1,100. So for the 4 months I stayed there, I gave her $1,100 a month, first of the month. And my son gave her $300 a month. You know,
that's $1,400, Judge, if you're just keeping track.
Never no receipt for him. I have my receipts. So I'm just trying to show example all these different instances of just backstabbing and trying to be pulling money from me. And there was never no calls for no violence or nothing like that, just as well as it was stealing from my disabled son. I was just trying to be the proper representative for my son.
Yeah, that's the monies. That's the payee monies. That's Social Security, disability.
$640 of his money. And so $640 is not enough money for us to go through all this. It's just vindictive. So as calm as I was with the first loan, as calm as I was with the second loan, the earrings, the third loan, I'm not going to grab somebody and jeopardize my whole career and everything that I've accomplished over these years for $640. We could have been reasonable, and we were reasonable until Miss Williams said, okay, I
want a restraining order against Raymond.
I'm going to go get your $1,100 you just paid me yesterday for rent, and I'm going to go get his money. You say it's short $640 that you can see on paper, then I'll go get that. And I was like, wait a minute. So where you going?
I was like, hold up. Wait a minute.
Money, why were you using his money as it was your money? There was never any instance to get involved in a confrontation.
I said, hold up.
This
Wait
is a lie. She left the house by her own will, nobody stopping her, nobody blocking her. In fact, my son was still asleep. When she opened the bedroom door, because she had closed the bedroom door, because he had opened his bedroom door to come out and go to the restroom. She was like, don't do that, don't do that.
God.
So I stopped talking about her stealing
Is this
his
real
money
life?
because I didn't want him to overhear it, since they had previous problems, you know, with different things, and it was just escalating, getting out of control. I was the mediator in the household. It was a problem everything.
Just now,
so
Hector?
Miss Williams left the bedroom, left the house, left the door open, the screen door closed. I was standing in the bedroom in my boxer underwear and a t-shirt.
Tommy John.
Oh no! When the police knocked on the door, on the screen, the door was already open. By the time I got from the bedroom to the living room, the police was in the house. And like Mr. Ferguson, I'm like, yeah. He's like, what's going on? So
Miss Archie? I'm sorry? I can't hear you. I can't hear you, Miss.
I'm sorry, Judge. Objection, hearsay as to what the police said.
Don't give me the actual what they said statements. Go ahead.
Cheryl's been dealing with this for years.
She was allowed. So anyway, I came outside. I sat on the central heating and air unit outdoors.
I set it at 68.
Outdoors.
She
was
said
talking
put it
to a
at 67.
police officer. I was talking to a police officer. After the cop that was talking to her walked over to the cop that was talking to me. And so the two police and myself, we walked back into the apartment to see this room where all of this destruction must have went on. We go in the room, the statements are laying there waiting on Miss Williams to return with the money that she said she was going to get, not the police. I'm still in my boxers and t-shirts. The only thing was I had pulled 2 suitcases and I was loading the suitcases. The police came in, they observed that. They walked around the room, they went in the bathrooms, the bedroom, spoke to my son, we went back outside. I did not go to jail, I didn't do anything. 2 hours later, on the 9th, Miss Williams turned the electricity turned off. And then she came and sat outside and was calling the police. When they walked to the door, I asked the police if they were going to come in because she had brought another person with her. And this lady had her phone on and she was filming. I told her, put the phone down because I don't want to be recorded. I'm not consenting to be recorded. So at that time, that lady that was with us put her phone in her pocket, and the female police officer, he started video recording with her phone because Miss Williams had a black trash bag, and they wouldn't allow me to get up off the chair to see what she was doing or nothing. They just allowed her to do whatever. So she went and grabbed whatever she grabbed and threw it in the trash bag. Came in and out the house 2 or 3 different times. And so that was the second time on July the 9th. Then they leave. By this time, another set of police officers came. Miss Williams is sitting out.
Take a breath. The court reporter needs a minute.
Okay.
The court reporter died 6 minutes ago. Can you please calm down, sir?
All right.
Okay, and so the third time that the police came out, I told him, look, sir, I'm just trying to load my stuff up and get out of here. She keeps stalking and driving up and down the alleys, and then she'll park across the street and call the police. I loaded my truck up one time, and I wasn't able to leave. She's hollering, I'm going to change the locks. I'm going to change the locks, this, that, and the other. Never served me a 30-day notice. So my son and I, with my truck loaded, we left it there. We stayed all night in this apartment with no electricity. And then the next day early, like she said, I'm early bird. I get up at 3:30 in the morning. I go run.
Early bird gets the worm, Your Honor.
One of my storages. I come back. We load the truck up the second time, and she's out there. So we couldn't leave. The police came back 3 more times on Sunday. 3 more times, 3 different times. The police officer finally told me, hey, look, man, it might be
Objection, hearsay.
I sustain. Don't say what the officer did. You can describe anything, but don't quote what you believe he said.
Okay, I was just advised to leave the premises before there's any other accusations made. That's the reason why I left my furniture, my lawn furniture, my weight bench, and a number of different things.
My Peloton.
It was 2 days. It had gotten way, way out of control. And I went and stayed in a motel and stayed in a motel for 3 weeks. The very next day, the police, I weren't seeing the police. They weren't coming to me, but they were calling me every day. And so,
what?
College.
Here we are.
Is that it? Is he done?
Son of a bitch.
An opportunity to ask you questions, but before we do that, I want to take a break for everybody's sake, especially our court reporter. It is 1:58. Let's take a 10-minute break till 2:10.
Oh, well.
No.
Oh, well.
2:10 off the record.
Oh,
come on, man.
we can't leave, can we? What, were you cutting it too?
They cut the feed for 10 minutes.
We can't go this far and not have the ending. Time is it?
I mean, we need to know now what's going on. I mean, it's 3:00.
We have to wait. We have to wait. We've invested how long? Were we in this an hour? Or a
Oh,
little bit-
easily.
easily.
I mean, you got this courtroom so we can make sure we're back in it. Dallas
Protective
County.
Court. So what are we going to do for 10 minutes?
Well, first of all, we're going to do this. Creed, I remember them two women that was talking. Well, one of them got up and got called up to the front. And, well, I'm going to just let this roll and I'll point this out.
Commonwealth versus Caroline Hall.
All right, she gets up, comes up here. The other lady sits back down.
77. Ms. Hall, I have reviewed your financial statement.
Watch
here.
this cop blocker.
Here's that you are eligible for a public advocate. To be appointed.
Moves right in.
What's wrong with Lauren?
Why the long face?
Is she making?
You're here with the purpose of arraignment. You got the right to remain silent. Ms. Hall, what are the last 4 digits of your social security number?
4896,
Okay, and born in 1981, is that right?
yes,
The grand jury of Monroe County has returned an indictment charging you with theft, unlawful taking or disposition, fleeing or evading in the first degree.
Look, I love you guys, but I gotta go stand up for a minute. I'll be back.
Reckless driving, disorderly conduct, second degree, disregarding a stop sign, failure to signal, operating a motor vehicle under the influence. Do you understand those charges?
yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you acknowledge the identity of Ms. Hall, receive the indictment, waive formal reading and arraignment, enter plea of not guilty, reserving all pretrial motions?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll set her for negotiations on October 7th, and the next court appearance is on October 20th, both of them. The first one is at 9, the second will be scheduled if she's still incarcerated, okay?
And Your Honor, would the court consider lowering Ms. Hall's bond at this time?
Well, I always considered lowering somebody's bond.
And no worries, we're sticking.
You give me a reason why the bond, what is the bond now?
10,000.
I'm keeping an eye over there.
There wasn't any issues between that firm and the indictment. 25,000 cash district.
Why was there $25,000 cash?
Probably the nature of the offense, but she doesn't have much criminal history.
The charge offense is,
The fleeing or evading
Yeah.
first.
I've read those. She didn't have any other charges.
No.
Yeah. Say the bond was set there because of fleeing, evading, and resisting arrest and driving under the influence and that sort of thing. Yeah, C, felony theft of an automobile. I think you need to file a motion for a bond reduction if you want a bond reduction, okay?
Okay, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
The grand jury's ready and there's one that needs to get to.
Okay, I need to take a short break and go call upon the grand jury. I'll be right back. It will take me just a second.
Of course you are.
Oh, this is going to be an agreement. So
We just get to watch. Just get to watch the room now. I guess. I don't know. No, I don't mean to like keep clowning on her, but it was. She really does. I'm keeping an eye on Dallas Protective Court. Just absolutely nothing. Let me move these around. I'll bring up something. Crazy. It's a lot of time we've spent that. Let me see. 3B. Well, let's jump over here to 3B, and doesn't look like they're doing much either.
Presenting the defendant, and Deborah Davis is here from Zoom.
Your Honor, I don't have, every notice I have just shows Mr. Bush as the plaintiff or the prosecutor.
The only one I have is the no insurance, Jordan.
Okay, those notices show Howard, so.
Well, it says Howard slash. Anyway,
Yeah, okay.
Mr. Larkin is here. He was just stubborn enough to prove to me he
Rocked
could
up.
complete my sobriety program, and he did. And we helped him get an interlock, and then we're talking about this morning. We didn't get you an
No.
interlock. We were struggling.
Facts are really messed up here.
Well, I understand, but the issue is, are you driving around with no insurance, and are you driving around while you're suspended and you knew it?
Never been in court, Chris, so I don't have one
Invalid
for you.
license plates, which is a Constantine case also.
Yeah,
So,
Thankfully.
all right, so we got part state statute, part Constantine ordinance. Is there a plea offer?
There is, Your Honor. Mr. Bush represented that if Mr. Larkin was able to restore his license, he would allow him to plead to 257-326 and dismiss all else. If it was not able to be obtained, then the offer was to 257-301. And the reason I was confused was that the email I received with the offer included the no proof of insurance ticket, so I assumed that was.
Well, I don't think it's charges no proof. I think it's no insurance. So let's take a look.
Okay. And part of that was if he was able to provide insurance on that vehicle, he would offer just no valid ops and the plate charge would be dismissed. So I don't know, because I guess I didn't know that the county had
Yes,
the
ma'am, we're on.
insurance ticket.
All right.
In talking with Mr. Larkin and on this case, I did reach out to Autumn Kiefer, who's the probation officer for sobriety court, to get some information.
Yes, ma'am, we're on. All right, let's go back on the record. At this time, Ms. Archie, do you have any cross?
Back on the record. Here we go.
Mr. Ferguson.
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Mr. Ferguson, have you ever been convicted for family violence?
No,
You've never gone to jail for family violence?
no, family violence is a Texas term. I went to jail for domestic violence in Oklahoma 20 years ago.
Okay. And that's the last time that you've gone to jail or been convicted for domestic violence?
Absolutely, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, isn't it true that there was a confrontation or argument between you and Miss Williams in July regarding the funds that you talked about that belonged to Desmond?
There was a conversation. There wasn't a confrontation.
Okay, well, you have a conversation regarding that, correct?
Attempted to, yes.
Cheryl hasn't moved for an hour. Same face,
And
same.
Isn't it true that on July 9th, 2022, Miss Williams called the police?
I assume she did. She left the house.
Okay, the police came out though, correct?
Police.
I believe so.
Okay. Now, isn't it true that you held Miss Williams down on the bed by her arms?
No, it's not true.
No.
I never touched her.
Okay. Isn't it true that you put all your body weight on Miss Williams, causing her pain?
No, ma'am.
Isn't it true that she had a hard time breathing and she let you know that you pressing your weight on her caused her difficulty breathing?
You fat ass.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Isn't it true you twisted her wrist?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So you saying that you didn't do anything that was physically violent towards Miss Williams on July 9th?
No,
Correct.
ma'am, I did not.
Have you ever been violent, physically violent against Miss Williams?
No, never. No, never.
Okay, sir, you saw the exhibits that I offered into evidence earlier, correct?
Correct.
And you heard Miss Williams testify that you caused those bruises on her legs and arms, correct?
Say it again.
Did you hear Miss Williams testify that you caused the bruises in those pictures that were shown in those exhibits?
Oh, yes, I did hear her.
Okay. And were you aware that that the police took pictures of injuries that Miss Williams had?
I wasn't aware of that until the second day on Sunday, after about the 6th police contact. I wasn't aware that police took pictures at all, you know. No, I wasn't aware.
Yeah, be careful the questioning there, Archie.
Did you see any of these bruises on Miss Williams?
Yes and no questions,
The
please.
bruise that's on her
Right.
calf muscle, I did see it. She had that bruise all week. She fell off the steps. So
She ran into the door, Your
that
Honor.
bed under
Door
medication.
frame jumped out.
She walked around with an ice pack all week on that leg, that lower leg.
She looked
That
like
lower
the
leg.
mayor on Spied Life.
Mm-hmm.
She had bruises on several areas of her body. Did you see that in the photos?
Oh,
I seen the superficial bruises. Yes, I did.
Okay.
superficial, Your Honor.
You're saying you had nothing to do with that, correct?
I had absolutely nothing to do with it.
You know, she won't let him go off on a
And you
tangent.
all were living in the same household, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And the only bruise that you say that you knew about was
Wait a
one
minute. Wait. Okay. You say. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
the only bruise that you just indicated that you knew about was one that you said that she had on her leg and she was walking around with ice on it.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
week, correct?
Yeah, I actually got replacement ice when the ice melted. Yes, ma'am.
What a nice guy.
So you don't
not
have
violent
any
at all.
explanation why
We don't have an ice
how she
maker,
got
so it
those
had
other
23
bruises.
ice trays I did
No, ma'am.
refill.
No, ma'am.
Yeah, Archie, I don't know if you know this. You go to Burger
Williams
King and get
Objection,
20
not
pounds of ice for $1.
Sustained, just answer the questions. You'll have an opportunity to testify again if you wish. Go ahead.
I don't have any further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Anything further testimony, Mr. Ferguson?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Oh,
You're
no.
still under oath, sir.
Oh, God.
Yes, yes, ma'am. I realize. So,
Look out.
am I just speaking now, or am I speaking to, or asking someone?
You're testifying of your own. You're offering your own testimony.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
So on Monday, the following Monday before the Saturday, the 9th, whichever the day was, Miss Williams had oral surgery, and she informed me, she had oral surgery, and she said
shit,
she was a
what?
big baby, blah, 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 blah.
Sorry.
So they have to give her a series of medications that she had to start actually taking this medication on Sunday.
Did you just say she had a
I think it
big
was
baby?
diazepam, and then 4 hours later take a pill, and then
Objection, speculation.
it's not speculation. It was prescribed.
Oh.
It was
Oh.
prescribed to her from her dentist. She also had to have a driver. That was me. So at that time, I was working and I got off at 3. Her appointment was at 3:30. I left work early to come pick her up, drive her to Louisville to her doctor. She went to the dentist in there. She was already under the influence of diazepam, 3 doses in the last 24 hours. And so they go in.
Now he's
they
calling her a
sedate
druggie.
They cut her tooth out or whatever. I'm the only person sitting in the lobby. The dentist actually carried Miss Williams out, and him and I escorted her to my vehicle, loaded in my vehicle.
In his arms, like
to her home.
Kevin Costner in The Bodyguard.
My son, and he helped me escort and load her into the bed. She was in the bed for a whole 36 hours.
Now he's escorting
under
her.
medication. Miss Williams, with her height, she has a step stool on her side of the bed. Miss Williams misjudged it.
She
He
3
failed.
foot tall.
Even my son, he yelled out, "Ah, goody!" And I told him, "Stop that."
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
It's not hearsay.
He said, what?
Offered for the truth. Just go ahead and finish, sir.
Goody?
So I told him, don't do that. Don't do that. And so that's how that on her little calf muscle actually happened.
Now he's going to go through an explanation for every single bruise.
Walking around with an ice pack, getting up, moving around. That's it. I don't know about anything else because
on a bruise.
I stood on one side of the bed and held restraint. I absolutely held restraint from 24 hours earlier when I actually received the statements in my hand. I decided, look, a long week. I'm going to look at this in the morning. When I woke up the next morning is when I looked at the statements and I discovered the discrepancies. So at that moment, Miss Williams tell me, okay, I'll go get the money, but you and him have got to leave. So I'm like, okay, we leave. I just paid you rent. You're going to give me that money back? She was like, yes, I told you don't pay me rent this month anyway. And that's the honest truth. I told her, okay, we'll give it back. And so I was like, we'll leave here. And as a matter of fact, I was trying to rent the apartment in the building right next door.
Objection, relevant, Your Honor.
Sustain.
I'm going to need to take one of those pills she was taking before we got a chase.
Oh, no.
All right. Any more cross?
No, Your Honor.
Mr.
Nope.
Ferguson, do you have any other witnesses you wish to call or any other evidence you wish to propose at this time?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Anything further, Ms. Archie, by way of rebuttal?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Then the evidence is concluded, and based upon this record, I
Hallelujah.
find that the applicant has failed to meet her entire burden with respect to the proof of family violence, and that there's a likelihood that it will occur in the future. So I will deny the protective order. It obviously is without prejudice to the right of either party to come back to the court if it's appropriate.
Denied.
Thank you.
And just that easily, it was over. Simple as that. He could have shut up talking 20 minutes ago, and the judge would have went ahead and been done with it. But no, he had to malinger. He had to drag this shit on for so long. Hallelujah. We're going to sit on out. We're going to get on out of here. I'm going to thank everybody for Creed's behalf. We'll see you back here very soon for We Gotta Chase 405 East.
So, quick wrap up. Are you surprised at that, or
no?
Yeah, me either. I think that was just a draw, right? I mean,
yeah,
nobody really wins.
Yeah, it was from the get. It was a grab on her part to try and do this. I think because he's got this lawsuit against her, which will be a whole nother pill of fish.
I find that Cheryl not saying anything was kind of odd because it almost makes it. I don't know. That one was crazy when I didn't know we were getting into that today. But that is part of what makes this so much fun about doing live things when we catch. So what is Paula? Is that Paula Dean?
Paula Dean's in trouble, Green.
Oh shit!
But we don't have time to find out why.
No. So Dave, basically nobody won. I mean, there's no protective order. So
I mean, he won in a way because he didn't get it. And people were saying, well, why does it matter if she gets it or not? Because that's going to look bad on him if an employer goes back and looks and sees that someone was granted a protection order against him. That's going to look bad on him. So that's the whole reason for him to even fight it. Did it happen? I don't know. I wasn't there. They're both crazy. I do know that much.
I gotta say, as brutal as that was to hear him go on and on and on, it was pretty funny.
It was a doozy. Don't ever let it be said we didn't give you an entire 2 hours and 8 minutes worth of court today. But that's all right. We're gonna make up for it with a shorter than usual. Usual. We got Chase.
Yeah, Mikey's. I'm kind of jealous. Get to go to Cheddar's.
That's right. I'm gonna enjoy all the cheddarsness. But before that, we're going to check out two of the best. I'm going to say it now. Two of the best encounters
really
with law enforcement we've seen it in a long time, Creed. Buckle up, Buttercup. It's going to be a doozy.
I'm ready.
All right, guys. Until next time, please make sure you like this video. Go and subscribe to We Got a Case on YouTube.
Please.
Case exclusive. Get us to 1,000, baby. Until next time. I did that by throwing that cap and it hit that button.
Nice throw.
Yeah, I know, right? We'll see you soon.